Hi, friends. I'm Emily Lay, and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking for a quiet place where you can filter out the noise and the hustle, this is it. Every week, I invite you to slow down and join me to explore practical ways to organize and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. We have the cutest collection of shirts, hats, and totes over in our apparel pop-up shop that just released. They are all perfect for fall and the holidays, and we even have some simplified gear in there as well. Just head to emilylay.co/shirts to shop. Well, guys, here we are on the cusp of a new school year. Has your crew started back to school yet? Here in the South, for the most part, we started the school year early. I don't know why that is. I always thought it was so cute and charming the way other places start after Labor Day, like they do up north. I have visions of clear blue skies and a few yellow leaves beginning to dot the trees and juicy red apples lining the sidewalks as kids walk to school, maybe with a jacket on because it might be chilly, a little chilly, in early September. In Pensacola, we're going on our 7th straight month of summer, so you could say the word chilly is sort of a pipe dream for us. If our schools waited until the air turned cooler for us to start back to school, we'd have to wait until November. So the powers that be decided that beginning of August was as good a time as any since we have the magic of air conditioning. After all, we do get out in May. That part I do enjoy. So the Lay family is back at it. We're in school again and easing into our normal routines, but it's a little different this year. Tyler and Caroline just started 2nd grade, and Brady has jumped from elementary to middle school. I am the mom of a middle schooler. I can't even wrap my brain around that. When I was Brady's age, I remember what a big deal it was to walk into middle school for the very first time. I had a locker. I had a class schedule where I had different teachers for different subjects. It's funny to think about, but for me, it seemed like the world opened up a bit because my classmates and I weren't sheltered in the cocoon of our classroom of 20 kids. We could mix and mingle with the whole grade. In middle school, classrooms changed, friendships changed, people started, air quotes, going out. Oh my gosh, I can't even. It was all so exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. Now that I'm a mom, I realize it's this way for both the kid and the parent. Maybe even more so for the parent, because all you want is your kid to be happy as they stretch their wings. So needless to say, we've got a big year coming up in the Lay house, and whenever we start a new school year, I'm reminded every single time of Jen Hatmaker. Oh, how I love Jen Hatmaker. She is going to be on the podcast in a couple weeks, which I'm so excited about, but let me tell you, Jen is a fantastic writer who captures some of the realest feelings about being a mom in the history of the universe. She brings some fabulous big sister energy into my life, so whenever she speaks, I listen. A few years ago, she gave the internet some advice about what to do in the first week of school, and of course, she is 100% right about it. So I'm going to tell you all what she wrote. Here is Jen's advice for all of us. After the first week of school, here are your weekend plans. 0 plans. Don't you dare head off to some Friday night situation with your kids thinking you are about to have some first week of school Friday night celebration, because what you will actually have is a grade A public meltdown. Your kids are a living disaster. Their bodies and minds are exhausted beyond all measure, and they can handle exactly 0 additional stimulation. They used up all their energy capital getting through the first week of school, and now they are like pod people who need to be put on the couch with popcorn dinner and a movie, and that is the end of this tale. Rent your movies, order your pizza, shelve your questions, and let them recover. This is 100% truer the younger your babies are. No plans, no outings, no activities, no long conversations. Their little selves spent all their energy trying to figure out the cafeteria and the new seating charts and the weird unspoken social rules, and if their clothes and backpacks were right, and if their new teacher is going to love them or not. They have nothing left. So let's not make them navigate a fun trip to the mall. Every time I read that, it makes me laugh so hard. Isn't that the best advice? She's so good. And honestly, I would say for the Lay family, 0 weekend plans for, I don't know, the entire month of August is a good idea because we are just so spent this time of year. If you are a teacher, God bless you. This also applies to you. My mom taught school for nearly 40 years, and I remember by the end of her first week, she was exhausted as well. And she was the parent of littles going to school. I've said it once and I'll say it again, Nana is a saint. The bottom line here is rest. We all need to build in some rest during the seasons of transition. Here's the thing. Any shakeup to your routine in the form of a new school year, a new job, a big promotion, a birth, a death, a surgery, a divorce, whatever, any change you go through requires you to use some of your mental reserves. And you know what that means? You don't always have much left over. That is, if you have anything left over. You need to restore your mental reserves through some rest along with a heaping dose of grace. There's a reason why God made the world to have seasons. I think that's the way our energy works too. There are some seasons when everything is clicking right along. Everything is big and bold and vivid. Maybe everything is going well at work and the kids are doing their thing. You and your partner and your friends are enjoying a season of living and laughing together. But sure enough, there will be a day when one of those variables changes a little bit. Sometimes you can plan for it, like when you know when the first day of school is. In June, you can plan on enjoying the summer you're experiencing, and as the big day approaches, you can make little adjustments to your routine as you need to. It's also kind of like when you know summer is going to change into fall. It's inevitable. It happens every year. So what do you do when the weather changes? We pack away the summer gear and get out our sweaters. We live into our seasons, and we're happier that way. But sometimes things happen that shake up our routines, and they happen out of nowhere. And that is so tough. Stuff like that has a tendency to throw me sometimes because, hello, I'm a super type A planner girl. In those moments, when you find your season changing out of the blue in ways you didn't see coming, you know what? Your season just turned into one full of grace. I give you full permission to give that gift to yourself as you figure out what your new normal and your new routine look like. The transitions you didn't ask for are already so tough to get through without you being so hard on yourself. You know what else? Your season may have just turned into an ask for help season. Do you find yourself normally being the happy helper, but not so much an ask for helper? I know the feeling. I'm an Enneagram 2, so it's a lot easier for me to offer to help someone else than to ask for help myself. But in those seasons when I've needed someone, like after a surgery, when my friend Jane came over to take my kids to her house so I could get a little more rest, or when she'd just leave food on my doorstep, that help was life-giving. And it was to her too, because she could be a helper. It's tough to do transitions alone. When you can, open up yourself to receive help in this season. There will be a season when you're able to return the favor, I guarantee it. Maybe your transition isn't going from summer back to school. Maybe you've moved. Maybe you've found a new church family or a new soccer team. Maybe you've had a baby. Maybe your financial situation has changed somehow and maybe not in the way you'd like. Change is so scary no matter what age you are, because change asks us to rise to the occasion a little differently. And I don't know about you, but I sure do like succeeding at things. And when there's something new happening in my day, a new variable I have to take care of, a new unknown I have to conquer, I start to get a little panicky. The perfectionist in me wants to start taking over because that's how I'm supposed to be, right? I'm supposed to be good at everything. I'm supposed to do everything well. And if I don't, well, that's not an option, so why would I even go down that road? But life isn't here for you to be right. As Brene says, it's here for you to get it right, meaning you are 100% going to screw up. Your kids are too. That is perfectly normal and perfectly okay. One of the biggest blessings of the season is that you get to show your kid that you, their mom, are not perfect. That may not feel like a gift to them, but I assure you it is. Because they get to see how you, the woman who's fought so hard to create a good life for your family, they get to see how someone as wise and powerful as you responds when she messes up. They get to see that good people get it wrong sometimes, and they get to see how to get back up when that happens. Do you know how much better prepared for life they are going to be when they see you mess up and respond with grace for yourself? Do you know how much money you're going to save them in therapy bills when they see that sometimes good people mess up and you can pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep going about your life without drama? Sharing these things makes me think about a recent time of transition that all of us collectively experienced together. It makes me think about during the pandemic when suddenly many of us were tasked with working and, conducting virtual school with our children, overseeing homeschooling, and being terrified about public health issues and the safety of our family. And I can remember me inside just feeling so panicked, like I didn't know how on earth I was going to navigate this new season, this new thing that I had never done before, that there was no precedent for, no advice anyone could give me on how to do it all and do it all well. But I remember those little kids at my kitchen table doing their homeschool work and looking at me like, what are we going to do here? How are we going to navigate this? And I had to be really honest with them and just tell them I didn't really know that we were going to take it day by day, that we were going to have lunch together every day and dinner together every night, that we were going to come up with some fun things to do in the house. And because they were able to watch me navigate things, albeit very imperfectly, but with a lot of grace, I think it made a lot of difference to them and taught them that they can go with the flow when everything seems to come unraveled as well. And remember, if you get it wrong, apologize, make it right, pick yourself up and try again, because it's not being perfect that matters. It's the trying that does. Make sure your kids know that too. Make sure they know they'll be okay when they try something and mess up. You are helping them nurture resilience, which is one of the most important life skills they will ever learn. Because when things get tough, resilient people bend, but do not break. What do you spend on subscriptions each month? Most of us think we spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, but we actually spend closer to $200 a month. You have to check out Rocket Money. They help you manage and cancel subscriptions you don't need, don't want, or simply forgot about with just a tap. Sound familiar? That's because you've heard me talk about Truebill before, one of my favorite apps ever. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Truebill is now backed by Rocket Companies and just changed their name to Rocket Money. Why? Well, for one, Truebill has grown from a bill management app into a full-on personal finance empowerment tool that helps over 3 million people with budgeting, lowering bills, canceling subscriptions, and more, saving each of their members on average $700 a year. Bottom line, Rocket Money is everything I've loved about Truebill, but with a fresh look and feel. So start canceling your unused subscriptions and save money at rocketmoney.com/simplified. That's rocketmoney.com/simplified. Or download the app from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. One more thing I want to leave you with today. New seasons can also shift the way you look at yourself. Sometimes you wonder where you belong. I'm thinking about Brady as I talk to you about this. We are lucky that he's in the same overall school as he transitions from elementary to middle, and he'll have a lot of the same friends he's had for a while. But even still, this transition is not an easy one. Brian and I have been praying over him and for this transition for a long time. We knew it was coming, and here we are. One of the things we try to instill in all our kids is not only do they belong, but they can create a sense of belonging for other people too. They can be the kind ones who look for kids who feel left out and invite them to eat lunch or say hi in the hall or play on the playground. They can create their own little circles of belonging with barriers that aren't sealed off walls. They can create circles that let others in. It's important to me that my kids feel safe and confident enough to walk into a room and not be a lone pillar standing tall, but a strong link in a chain. I want that for you too. Sometimes as adults, we forget that belonging matters just as much to us as when we were kids. And we hold the power to be those agents of belonging too. We can be a safe harbor inside the walls of our home and out in the world. So when things shake up your normal, go seek out other people who are feeling the same. I promise if you seek them, you will find them. There's so much strength and vulnerability in sharing what you're struggling with. You'll find that you are never alone. And really, at the end of the day, that's what we all want. Someone to sit with in the cafeteria, even when we're 39. As we close out this episode, I want to say a little blessing for you as we leave this time together and get back to our days. When change comes your way, I hope you have the courage to say, I can do this, or better yet, we can do this. When you don't get everything quite right, I hope you have the grace to say, I messed up, I'm sorry, I'm going to try again. And when the going gets tough, I hope you remember that this is a season. Try your best to lean into it. And either way, a new one will come around again soon. As always, I like to leave a little tip to help you put what we've talked about today into practice. So here's your task for this week. One of the best things we've ever done as a family has been declaring Friday night to be pizza night from now until forevermore. Seriously. Most Friday nights, you can find the Lay family ordering pizza from a local spot and chilling out together to watch a movie. When their kids were really little, we'd eat pizza on the floor to make it feel a little extra special, like a tiny picnic outing, just to help us transition into the fun of the weekend. Rituals are signals that help our minds transition from one mode to another. So I'm wondering, is there something simple you can do to make your Friday nights a little more restful? Maybe it's a make-your-own sandwich bar and a game night. Maybe Friday night is about to be your weekly high school football night, so maybe your ritual is to put your hair up in a ponytail and get out your cute little megaphone earrings and your favorite school t-shirt. And maybe get a big old pickle from the concession stand while you're at it to cheer on the hometown team. Whatever you do, mark the transition into the weekend with something you look forward to. You'll find it channels your energy in a weird way, a good way, so that you can get your rest a bit more quickly. Thank you for listening to the Simplified podcast. I hope today's episode helps you give a little grace to yourself and to your people during this season of transition. You can find show notes for this episode at emilylay.com/podcast, where you can check out links and resources mentioned here, and you can shop the Simplified brand of planners and products. And if you'd like to listen to the Simplified podcast ad-free and earlier, you should check out the premium version of our show on Apple Podcasts. Just search for the Simplified podcast in the search bar and tap the blue thumbnail image with the pink pineapple. You can't miss it. And don't forget to pick up your copy of my new children's book called You're Always Enough and More Than I Hoped For right now, wherever you buy books. Before you go, I have a quick favor to ask. If you love this show, would you go to your podcast provider and leave a review? I want more people reaching for a life that's a bit more slow and sweet and good, and leaving a review helps your podcast provider get this show to more people who will enjoy it. If you've left a review, thank you. Please know I've read your words and taken them to heart. Till next time, thanks for listening. Bye.